Hello everyone, how is everyone doing today?
Don't come closer, I want you to come closer to me.
This is a small chair,
I know, you're going to end up off the stage. I know, well I have this little timer here, so I'm going to look at this. I know Emery, we're very good friends, and it's really a pleasure to do this. For me, it's an honor, Emery. I just love you, and I've known you for a long time, but I wanted to tell people how I work. When I first found out that Emery was courageous enough to tell his story, my first impulse was, and I do this, is I went to my magazine in Italy.
It was trustworthy on the team format. I joined CSETI because I was looking for another family after leaving the projects that were working with extraterrestrials, and also I was curious how the civilians were doing it compared to how the compartmentalized agencies were doing. And it's funny because I've been coming to all these conferences and been helping a lot of different speakers in the background, helping them out with information and intelligence, such as David Wilcock and so forth, of what's going on behind the scenes. It's just I wasn't ready to do that yet because I had a family at the time that I was taking care of, and so I decided to get out of the Air Force. I was in there from 1990 to 1997, and that's another thing you guys get to look forward to is, one of the highest credentialed, probably only credentialed insider whistleblowers coming out there. And I hate when people call me a whistleblower because I don't really talk about stuff that hasn't been talked about before, like a lot of the other whistleblowers. I would like to be called an insider. And all I can do is just tell you my story of what I went through, and I can't tell you anything other than that. So when I come forward, and I came forward in November because I was working on a free over Unity energy device for about around 5 years. That was funded by my stem cell and platelet-rich plasma invention. And we started working, and then things got a little rough for me after that. When they're not upset about me right now talking to you about extraterrestrials and underground bases and things like that. They don't want me teaching you how we can heal our own bodies from within. They don't want me teaching you about the over Unity devices out there that we can easily make for very cost-effective ways to have one in everyone's home and to get rid of gas, coal, and oil, and of course, big pharma, which is a big problem. Even though I could probably use some antibiotics right now. Non-stop.
Here's some water.
Thank you. So that's kind of how I kind of got into that whole scheme, and I am releasing a lot of my papers of, of course, basic things like my DD Form 214 and my Air Force letter of recommendations from captains and colonels and so forth, so people can have a little bit better understanding of my education and background. All my education was through the military, through the classified projects, because you can't go out and learn this stuff naturally. I was a surgical technologist when I went in, and a field medic. And back then, you get to work in all the different types of surgical units. It's not like that now. You're either like an eye technician or a heart technician, but I did all of that stuff back then. We're trained to do all that, and also to do minor surgery to save soldiers in wartime types of situations, inserting chest tubes and trachs and things like that, minor. So I just wanted to make that clear. I don't have any MD behind me, even though I invented this first tabletop stem cell platelet-rich plasma concentrator. They did award me a continuing education units type of thing, a CME for surgeons. So they had to go through the course to get accredited to go and utilize the new devices that are out there today. That it's been out there for about 15 years now that have cured things like peripheral artery disease. Those were all my inventions. son I did meet a few years back, I remember seeing, movies and TV shows, War of the Worlds, growing up and things like this. And I just remember one night, and I was probably maybe first or second grade, and I went outside, and it was late for me. It was probably like 9:30. I lived on a 20-acre farm in southern Florida around that time, and something said go outside. So I just got out of bed and went outside, and this craft came down over the lake, and I could see these individuals in the craft, and it was like this turquoise type beautiful color, bright, and it had a reflection off the lake, and it was a very small lake, maybe four of these rooms, and looking at it, and it was at that point that I was just kind of amazed that this, giant thing was here and it was blinking, and I felt communication of some sort, but I couldn't speak to it. It was weird. It was like, why can't I? There was information coming in, like I felt like they were trying to communicate, and then it kind of just dematerialized and folded on itself and left. And then I went back in. I think I told my family a couple days later. They said, please never tell anyone that ever happened. I said, okay. And from then on, I always had a fascination with that kind of thing. But my real fascination was really with space and becoming an astronaut and going into the Air Force and flying F-15 Eagles because of, they're faster than F-14 Tomcats back then. So I was all
Top Gun and all that kind of stuff, and you wanted to be. How old were you when you went into the military?
Well, I joined actually the auxiliary of the Air Force at 13 and got my pilot's license at 15.
What?
And I was also with Army ROTC, JROTC, you guys are familiar with that. So I was already working with the Air Force and Army at a very early age. My father was in the Navy, and my grandfather was in the Army. And I just always wanted to be in the military. And we weren't a wealthy family at all. So I didn't really have too many options, but for me, that was like the best option ever, to go into, serve the country, be a G.I. Joe here, and they had great movies out there with propaganda, like you want to go out there, but well, now for me, a superhero, which is nothing better.
Yeah, but you're not the type of person to go into war.
No, I'm not. Back then, I was young and dumb, and I didn't understand what was going on. All I know is I'm going in there, and I get to eat as much as I want. They're going to pay me, and I'm going to get that cross-rocket bike like Cruz had, drive around with flights, jets. I'm going to be a cool guy, And so I was thinking more of a kid, At 16, I signed up early. I signed up at 17. And so it was like this big, controversial, what am I going to do? And then the Army came up, you don't need the Air Force, you're going to come with us. And because I was with the Army ROTC and the Civil Patrol, I was literally Air Force at the same time. And they offered me a scholarship to fly helicopters. And I didn't want to fly helicopters, it was too cool at the time. I wanted to go like super fast. So, from signaling, you have to make really correct decisions when you're at 17. You can do it really fast, or you go up and you get shot down. You can't really glide down too quickly. So at that point, I took the ASVAB test. It's test the military gives kids when they're like 15, 16. It shows what you're good at. And the next thing you know, every 2 months I'm at MacDill Air Force Base. From the age of around 16 to 18, taking different tests. And now I was noticing that my peers never took more than one test. So they kept sending me, these are extras, you want to take these. They said, how would you like to go to the medical field instead? And I loved the medical field. I loved the body, biology. I grew up, we didn't have two channels on the TV. So my family was really big on books, and my mother, taught me how to type at a very young age, and I hated typing. She would make me type National Geographic. You know, and I couldn't stand it. I'm like, who's gonna do this? My fingers are even my fingers back then were too big for it. I just didn't understand. What is this archaic thing here? Why can't we just write down what we want to say? But and then from there, so what happened from there is they approached me and they just offered. They said, "You want to do this? You know, you want to go in the army and do this, or we have a special medical program. You know, surgical apprenticeship. They call it. You know, they call it like you're going to some Hogwarts or something." Oh, this is great. And I remember playing soccer, you know, at a young age, and I had these huge feet that did not fit in these cleats. So I kept getting these ingrown toenails. So it was like every 2 months I was in with the podiatrist, they're cutting my toenails off. And they're like, "Doug, you might want to look away from this." I said, "Oh no, I want to see what you're doing." And they're like injecting it and ripping it off. I'm like, "This is so cool." Blood and all this stuff. So then I got intrigued. It was so funny because after I got out of the military, I got to meet the same doctor who ripped my toenails off, and he used my platelet-rich plasma system that I invented.
Because that's amazing, isn't it? That is an amazing
The
story.
circle, this reciprocating of helping people and helping things and people being inspired. Everyone inspires everyone in some small way that you would not even believe that changes their life forever. And I'm glad that I didn't go into the pilot program and I went to the medical program because, like, look what happened. Okay.
And that's your passion, isn't it, really, the biomedical?
So far off, you know, just like us with the monkey, you know. It's just, believe it or not, we are all, and all DNA can be mixed together, even with plants on this planet. The plants and animals and all sorts of things can be easily intermingled with the DNA. That's why we all have, isn't it funny they say, well, we're 0.9%, you know, chimpanzee, and we're 95% canine, and we're this and that, and don't quote me on the exact numbers. But they're saying this, and they're referring it to a human, which is funny for me, because that means basically we're all the same. Because you can mix these genetic codes together and make anything you want. And you can make things that don't even exist yet, especially if you obtain genetics from other places.
The places of me. So your bottom line when you have these long conversations on GAEA, we are all the same. There isn't that much difference. But somebody is interested in this kind of genetic research for a reason. And then I think, Emery, you said, you know, the reason is a good reason, so maybe we have to like support these situations, but...
Well, there's good and bad. I mean, they can get something to help cure things, you know, over a long period of time, which I think is very beneficial, medications and things. And then there's also things that, you know, they can actually make us sick with inoculations and things.
Exactly, it's a cycle, right?
Yeah, so we gotta get you sick first.
I'll get you sick first and then we can give
But
you
don't worry, because in 6 months I got something to make you better. So just hold on. And it's this whole, of course we're out there, back and call here, because, you know, what we're gonna do, we're just a bunch of, you know, hairless apes running around here looking for, you know, the next best thing to kill us.
But that's his real passion, and that's the kind of conversations we have. And I know that the people that are present here want to know about ETs. And I told Emery that eventually we'd get around to that, but no, this is not the only conversation with Emery. Emery will be sharing the table with Steve Mera tomorrow, where the Navajo Ridges are on the schedule. He will be taking your questions, because you've been writing questions for Emery out there at the registration table, so your questions will get answered. But you know, I know where everybody's coming from as a journalist. They want to know what the ETs are like. So, in general, I remember your conversation about the cafeteria that you had and where you were working, and you were saying that there was, do you want to talk a little bit about that? That the ETs were at the same cafeteria with them. And a little bit what they were like, you know, because people want to know, we are working with extraterrestrials.
Every day. I'm sure there's a few out there already, guys. what has happened is let me do a big circle around the cafeteria because just working around these beings that are, you know, they're telepathic, you know, they're a little bit more advanced than we are.
Tell a story about the water.
And
that you were with one of them when you were doing work and he already knew.
well, right, you know, so like a day for me is work my normal job as a surgical tech or a paramedic or whatnot, and that would be from around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to around 1:30, 2 o'clock p.m. Then I would report to a facility on the base, which takes me down a few floors around 4 or 5 p.m. And I would stay there anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, or they had a lockdown. I might stay there up to 2 days. And you know, there's a lot of change out stations. You know, they have even special dogs that smell you for certain viruses that you might have, or colds, or things like that. So you have to be, you know, in shape and healthy and things like that. And you know, you're not, you know, back then there was no really, we had those big block cell phones, but I can guarantee you that, you know, at my pay grade, I didn't have anything like that because I had the cool fast motorcycle.
But you worked with ETs and
But getting down there and going through this, you know, my daily routine, and then getting into some of these, you know, positive and negative air pressure systems, depending where you work, and underwater operating rooms, which are really cool, where you're actually underwater collecting specimens. You get to work sometimes with extraterrestrials, and I want to make it clear too, also to the public, that you know, when people hear extraterrestrial, you know, they immediately think like this pop culture term of, you know, aliens and predator, and it's there, and these tentacles are coming out and grabbing things. And, you know, it's not like that at all. Most of them look just like us, and they might have a little bit different, you know, the eyesight might be off, or their ears might be a little bit, you know, different shaped cartilage. I noticed that it's the cartilage of the body that seems to be off a little bit. What I'm saying is you might not even realize walking down, you know, the streets of New York or LA if you walk by an ET, unless you've been through some of these projects. But the first thing that I realized was there's definitely no secrets with your coworker when you're working with extraterrestrials, because I could have a beautiful day, or I could have like a horrible day at work, like when I'm doing my regular job, and I'm just upset, or maybe I got in a fight with my girlfriend, or something happened, and here I'm coming to work, and I'm upset, and I'm getting changed out in my scrubs and suit. I walk around, but you know, I'm human, maybe taller. One of them was I worked with a lot was about a foot taller than me and very albino, white with big blue eyes. And I would, you know, telepathy is a language that everyone's going to learn, and it's going to be upgraded through your DNA, your crystalline structure eventually. So we'll all have this. We won't be talking so much because we'll be able to, you know, feel each other. I'll say feel each other more, where an entire, you know, sentence or 6-hour argument is over in 10 seconds.
wonderful.
Wouldn't that be great?
I know, great. Yeah, well, the conference next year is on ESP. I told you it's on remote viewing, which is ESP. So what did the
And so I'd come in there, and of course, you always greet someone and go, hey, Paul, how you doing today, you know? So, but if you're upset, and I would, you know, you would hear me say right now, like, you know, hey, Paul, how you doing? To them, I'd be like, hey, Paul, how you doing? Because they feel the emotion behind what's already in me. So you're really feeling like, it comes really more from, you know, like the heart, and I can't explain it.
How do they react?
So they kind of know that you're already upset. They know there's something wrong, and they immediately lighten it up. They're very humorous at the same time. You know, they'll say something like, well, you'll probably have a better weekend. You know, or something, you know, and the signal will come through. And it's not a voice that says it, by the way. It is a emotional expression of our vocabulary in a way that we interpret it immediately by ourselves. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of us already do this sometimes. You know, you got everyone's at home, you know, and then someone comes home and they're all upset, and all of a sudden everyone else in the house is upset because they're upset. And it's like it's this energy, but you can easily sever that. You know, you can cut that if you keep your positivity. You know? And that's what we gotta teach the world is, okay, they're gonna show us this on CNN or, you know, this channel, that channel of how horrible, blah, blah, blah. And that is to activate you to get you, I cannot believe he did that to who or her and him, and
To upset you.
you know, and then you're mad and you know, for no reason because they transmitted this onto you. Okay, and it is a programmable transmittal. I mean, anybody watches TV or listens to radio or anything, you are being subjected to these things. I'm not saying stop, of course. I'm saying protect yourselves and be aware of it. And don't overreact. Don't overreact when someone comes right up in your face. I mean, I was just attacked at the airport yesterday, you know, and I came, you know, just furious with me. And, you know, and I didn't get upset at all, you know, and I just looked at him and I said, you know, either way, we're all getting on this airplane. I said, you know, and I said, you know, my team is right up there. And he goes, well, I had 5 guys behind me. And I was like, well, congratulations. And then he said, F you. And I said, well, that wasn't very Christian, right? That made him really mad. So it's funny because it's like, as long as you make fun and humor of, and everyone else is laughing. So then it's like, oh, it's great. So you have to lighten the situation. And communication is the biggest problem, the biggest situation we have right now with all the countries on the planet because, you know, we are not always on the same page. So we just need to get on the same page. And telepathy, the language of telepathy, don't bring it to the cafeteria. I'll tell you, I'll take one question and go an hour.
Yeah, we have 27 minutes left.
Okay, I'll talk faster.
Yeah, you can look at this.
How was that night?
That's what that is. Yeah, we're really good here. Yeah. It's being live streamed, so there's people from all over the world they're listening, which is
Thank you, people from around the world, for listening. Thank all of you for coming, by the way. And other, right, this is being transmitted deep into the galaxies.
the whole idea of empathy, though, isn't that part of it?
What was that?
The whole idea of empathy being part of the communication.
Well, that shows, you know, your level of consciousness. Now, are you going, you know, this man's next to me and he says, back of the line's there. And I'm like, well, my team's up there. He's like, well, I got 5 guys behind me. I said, well, either way, we're all getting on the plane. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to engage? Or do you want to, you know, break that? You know, it's so easy to not engage. Or if you're going to engage in a way to make it tactful and subtle, to allow someone to find it maybe humorous that you're doing that. Because you want to cut that energy from them because there's something bothering them, of course. And it has nothing to do with you. It's probably because, you know, they woke up and something happened and had a bad day or was late to the airport. So you have to, like, figure a way out to every situation. And that raises your consciousness as well, is being, you know, to be able to listen is one of the most important things. People want to talk. My colleagues, some of my colleagues sitting right here are, oh, Zach, he's Seattle, he does this and that, you know, everyone wants to point the finger, you know, and as investigators like you are, it's like you have to do that. You have to investigate, but you don't have to point fingers. You know, what you have to do is sit down with a person like you did. And you said, what about this? I said, what about this? I said, here's the paper. And, you know, I gave you information, and, you know, and that's the proper way to do it. You don't go out, you know, put yourself on a pedestal because you've been there forever and say this, that, or the other. You know, because there are a lot of charlatans and shenanigans going on out there. You know, it's just, it's going to happen.
Yeah. You know, when you talk about ESP, though, telepathy, you said you can't lie to ETs. But because, I mean, obviously it's...
Believes in extraterrestrials and UFOs. And I'm sitting there going, what does this have to do, with why we're here today, fighting over this path? But at that point, it was just a character assassination. So I get character assassination, of course, because you guys know constantly.
And it's happening, this character assassination. I want to do the sign. It's got to stop because everybody's doing their own thing. We respect everybody's own thing. But don't go after other people. And you have never done that. I have never heard you say a negative word against anybody.
I'm very neutral because, everyone has their own, path. Everyone's going their own path. And I don't know what you've been through. It's not it's not for me to say. And, I know who I am. I know that everything I've invented has cured the planet or cured people. I've done a lot of good things, so I'm happy with that. And, just because my colleagues, and other investigators come forward and are like, well, I've never seen them do that, or, they're sitting in the back of their, Winnebago, drinking their beer going, oh, this guy's a jerk because Emery did this and this and he, it's like, that's not the whole story. And what did you do? How did you come up? I risked my life. I lost my whole family. I lost everything, home. Went down to a pretty rough spot. Thanks to you guys now, I'm back on my feet, getting things done, getting these labs reopened.
Save lives all over the world.
Yeah, exactly, Paul. An overheating device, can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
But it also can heal. It's like scalar technology. For those of you guys who know what scalar technology is. These things are good and bad, and there's ways to control them. It's kind of like a car. You can go out and buy a car for your kid, and you can go use it to run someone over, or you can use it to go to school, go to work. Things can happen. It's got to be, you got to be educated. The big thing is education. We have to start educating our children on, what is right, what is wrong, and not educate them on, don't like her because she has a white jacket, and don't like him just because, he smells like this. So,
and when he says smells, because this is, he's living it, it's an inside joke because he said some of these extraterrestrial civilizations don't smell so good. So, because they're not, the biology is not the same as ours, right? Is that why you make that joke?
Yeah, you're basically, working next to a very flatulent, I think you're talking about.
Being, we'll call them beings. Beings.
Flashbacks here.
Yeah,
So,
because they're all different. They're all different. But I think the point you're making is not to be judgmental.
Yeah, you can't judge, and it's okay to understand. Okay, I don't agree with this person. Oh, that's great. You don't agree. Everyone has an opinion. That's fine. But you don't have to sit there and go, well, I don't agree. You want to beat it up. If you want to beat it up, you're unhappy with yourself. There's something wrong with it. You got to be happy with yourself. You got to be happy. If you're happy with yourself, you're going to be happy with everyone else. And the people that you love. But to sit there and beat something up, without the proper, backup and credentialing, and, because there are, people out there that, we have to be careful of course, But the thing is, to take that into a very mature way, mature status, and do your due diligence like you do. These huge, I just had my pathologist, did huge write-up on me, and he flew in and showed him my documents, and he went as far as to call Harvard University, which I was like,
aliens. What do the extraterrestrials go back to their planets? Are they good or bad humans? Are they good or bad? Now, what are the beings going to say? Well, there's both. So how do you feel about extraterrestrial races?
well, when people are always talking about all the good and bad, I think, I don't believe in good and bad.
Neither do I.
I don't, because, but if there was, a bad ET race, I would know exactly where to point the finger. I would point it at her. Because I don't know any other ETs out there chopping those heads off, and then putting it on YouTube. It's just not normal. So, we have to learn.
Ruining our environment.
Yeah, or destroying the Fukushima out there, the big trash pile off goes to Japan there. These are all things that can be fixed. overnight with these, energetic devices and things like that. So that's why, my compassion is first the planet. Without the planet, we will not have, the whales and the dolphins and the plankton, and then after that we won't have us. So sorry you guys come third in the book, but it's the only way to do it the right way. And so we all survive and become conscious and go beyond the stars. And we will go beyond the stars. I firmly believe this, that we will travel amongst the stars when we're ready, when it's time for us to do that. We just have to grow up a little bit right now, communicate a little bit better, and share our resources, and not be so greedy about things, and allow these technologies to come out so we can cure each other and not go through so much pain. There's no reason that we shouldn't have clean water in India, and there's no reason we shouldn't have food in Africa for anyone. I mean, there's so much abundance that can be made so easily. Look at and just in the United States, we do it every day, and this can be duplicated everywhere just with our modern technology. Not even talking about the cool technology that can be released, that can these atmospheric water generators that can be dropped all over the planet, so people can have clean water and things like that. Because it's this little stuff, these little diseases like malaria and things that can be controlled that are the world's killers that cause the most amount of death on the planet here that we can fix pretty quickly. And also the diet, a lot of the chemicals, of course, as everyone knows, that's put in the foods are just made to destroy your body and dissolve your tenocytes, your tendon ligaments and things like this. So we're trying to dissolve, we're trying to figure out ways to, develop things. Like I talk about alpha-2 macroglobulin all the time. This is an anti-aging, polypeptide protein found in your blood that, we just recently accidentally found out, oh my goodness, we can anti-age, a ligament, a tendon, a tenocyte, which is like the hardest cell in the whole body to do anything with because it barely gets any blood supply. So if we can do that, imagine, taking this supplement, every day, and reversing the aging process or slowing it down at least, so we can, evolve a little bit to a more conscious level of being, and not focus on, how much money we have to make today, and not worry about, paying the gas bill and oil bill, but, focusing our creativity and focusing on, our compassion to really help each other. Being in the military, I learned a lot about, compassion. I mean, with our enemies, like no one really wants to fight each other. No one even knows when we're out there why we're fighting each other a lot. We're gung-ho about it because we're programmed as children to shoot this person, but no one really knows why we're really doing it. And it's all because people are making money off this in the higher echelons of corporations, and it needs to stop because there's an easier way for everyone to get along and make money and still allow them to accomplish their missions while we can stay safe here.
Thank you so much, because this isn't the end. We will have Emery tomorrow, and you will be around for people, right? Because there's so many people that want to meet you, and he will, and also a dinner tonight. So if you would like to talk.
Are you inviting me for dinner?
Yes, of course. For dinner, we have dinner around 6:30 as part of the, and you and Olivia can come and have dinner with everyone, because I think everybody wants personal time with Emery. Of course, there's too many people to have that happen like that, but you will be around.
Yes, I will be here. I will not be materializing.
Yeah. So, and we will also have another conversation, and I like this kind of dialogue. This is
It's I love just smaller types of venues, because I get to meet more people, and I love, you know, you guys stopping me out in the escalators out here and having short little conversations. I wish I could do more, but you guys have excellent questions, and I really want you tomorrow I really need you guys to write some good questions down so we can get through some really cool and interesting things, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be answered, and not about personal stuff. I don't want any personal questions. I want you guys to really dig down into your heart and say, hey, what about this? What about this? How are we going to fix this? What can we do? And of course, you can throw in some, you know, ET stuff. That's
All right, thank you so much,
Oh, you're welcome.
Emery.